Hello and welcome to our weekly Help Talk. Welcome. Thanks for being here. My name is Lukas. I'm one of the founders and managing directors of bookingkit. Pleasure to have you here today. So in our weekly help talks, what we try to do is to give you actionable advice. What can you do during these times of crisis, during these times of COVID-19? What to give you inspiration on what you can actually do during this phase of lockdown and what you shall do using that time. And today we're going to talk about pricing. So how to get your pricing and profits right. So I brought you a presentation here today, which gives you actionable advice on what you can actually do right now to increase your profits in the times when things pick up again. So without further ado, let's dive right into it, and I'll give you some actionable advice on pricing and how you can optimize your pricing. As always, if you have questions, don't hesitate to just post your question directly in the chat here, so we can directly answer them within the chat. And there's also tons of material to all kinds of information of the COVID-19 situation on our website, so bookingkit.net/COVID-19, or just bookingkit.net gives you tons of information, inspiration from other operators, from industry experts, from industry veterans, how they cope with the situation. So they give you all that kind of information. We see ourselves, our role in this crisis, to aggregate as much possible as information and inspiration for you to actually do stuff during this crisis, to give you actionable advice. And again, today is all about pricing, about getting your profits right. And so we are really happy to host this webinar today. Let's dive right into it. I'll just put my laptop here so I can flip the slides, and then we dive right into it. As you know, my name is Lukas. I'm one of the founders and managing directors of bookingkit. We try to exchange a lot with industry experts, with industry veterans about how to best cope with the situation. A lot of these people told us, okay, it's also a great situation to fix and update their inventory, your product information, or your pricing. So today is all about pricing. As you know, we as bookingkit, we're here based in Berlin. We have a bit more than 6,000 operators who are using our platform to connect and their inventory to all the digital sales channels, being that their own website, and helping them administer that. We're based here in Berlin, and we have a team a bit north of 90 people who help us build this great product. So today is not about bookingkit. Today is about pricing. So I'll dive right into the pricing topic here today. Pricing for leisure products, for tours and activities products, is something you can take a lot of inspiration from other markets. But before we go into that direction, let's go check how the typical common business model of a tour and activity operator, a leisure operator, looks like. So typically it works like you have, on the one hand, you have your costs, fixed cost or variable costs. Against that, you have your revenue. And then basically, if you take the revenue minus the cost, you have your profit or loss of your business. So as we know, as most of you know, most of our business costs are fixed costs, and only a small chunk of that is variable cost. What's the difference? The fixed cost is stuff you always have to pay. Think of your rent. Think of if you have a boat, like the payments, the monthly payments you do for the boats. To have these boats, all of these are fixed costs, and then you have variable costs. So these are the costs you have to pay for each participant who comes to you. For each customer who comes to you, you have to additionally have costs. So think for cooking school, that would be the ingredients you need to buy in order to do that cooking school. So this is basically the normal business model of any tour operator, of any leisure product. So basically you can say, okay, profit or loss is basically the formula for that is you take your revenue and you deduct the costs from that. And if you have an understanding, okay, what is the revenue consisting of? The revenue is basically the amount of sold tickets multiplied by the price. So that's how the profit or less or the revenue calculation works. So we are not the company who can tell you most about the costs. You're a lot better than that. But when you look at the different variables, the amount of sold tickets, that's very, very hard to predict. And I think a lot of us currently learn, okay, in these times of crisis, there's a high volatility of an amount of sold tickets. So it's hard to really influence that. Or if you want to influence that, you need very expensive marketing measures to actually influence that number. On the level of costs, that's to a high percentage, that's fixed costs. So your rent, the boats you're having, the infrastructure you are having, the guides you are having. So not much of that is in relation to actually the amount of sold tickets or the amount of revenue. So the highest influence you can have is on the price component, and hence today is focusing on what can you do about this price component and to give you some actionable insight what you can do about your pricing. And we came here today to bring you 8 actionable tips what you can do about your pricing. So in this moment, you can open your pricing sheet in a new tab and apply 8 actionable pricing tips as of today. So when we talk about pricing strategy, whom can we learn from, and how can we maximize the pricing strategy? And I think one of the things you should be keeping in mind, and probably most of you already have that in place, is the standard pricing strategy. What does standard pricing strategy mean for me? That would be seasonal pricing, so have higher prices in the head period and lower prices in the shoulder period, or weekday pricing, higher prices on the weekends, lower prices on the weekdays within the week. So this would be classic pricing strategy. We will not be covering these today because I would, if you're not doing that already, I would advise you to look into that. But from my perspective, that's fairly straightforward. What we're going to do today is give you 8 actionable tips beyond that you can apply by today. So when we look for inspiration, where can we look? And 2 sectors of our industry, of the travel industry, we can look to is the flight space and the hotel space, because both spaces have similar challenges in the sense of they have a high level of fixed cost. I think an airplanes, very expensive. Think of a hotel, or the hotel, including staff, very expensive. And they don't have a good understanding of how much utilization they're gonna have. Yeah, so how many people are truly flying in that very flight? How many people are really coming on that night? So it's very, very hard to really predict that. And so we can look for inspiration there in terms of how can we optimize our pricing. And I think the kings of pricing strategies, if you want, is like the airline space. This is an example of the Ryanair website, so a low-cost airline website. And there's tons of pricing tips or pricing strategy you can learn from airlines. So I'm not saying your pricing, your product should become like the Ryanair product, like the Ryanair pricing product. I'm not saying you should go for that cheap strategy in that sense. What I'm saying is we can take inspiration from there because they're taking a lot of effort, a lot of work into actually optimizing the pricing, and we can learn from that. So that's fairly interesting. So before we dive into pricing, let's talk about the perspective of the customer. Let's switch the perspective to someone buying at your place. And some of you might already know this traveler's journey, the customer journey of a traveler. So it starts with the inspiration. So typically when I travel and I do a leisure product, I get inspired. That might be by someone, my neighbor, telling about his travel experience and said, okay, he did a great trip to Paris. So this was a great travel experience. This gives me the inspiration. On the next level, then comes the research phase. So I say, okay, I want to go to Paris as well. So I'm going to research a bit. Okay, how much is the flight there? How can I get there? Maybe by train, by flight. How much are hotels there? So I'm researching and I'm checking, okay, how can I get there? And then comes the purchase phase where I say, okay, I lock my purchase, I buy my flight, I buy my hotel, I buy my accommodation. So it's the purchase phase. And by the end of this purchase phase, I'm anticipating my travel. So I'm looking forward to travel. There's a lot of positive emotion in this anticipation phase. And hopefully we all as travel operators then give the customer a great experience. So we create loyalty that I come back home, tell my next neighbor, okay, it was a great trip to Paris. And my neighbor also then begins to get inspired and wants to do the very same thing. So that's the average customer journey, a traveler's journey. Why should you care as a provider for leisure products, for tours and activities product about that? Is because we can have a strong connection between price sensitivity and booking in that journey. I'll explain you. So in the inspiration phase, this is the time where you build up your budget. So you know, okay, Paris takes a bit to get there, so it makes sense for an extended weekend to go there. When we build our travel, so the research phase and the purchase phase, we are very, very price sensitive. So let me give you an example, a personal example. I live here in Berlin, and when I book my travel, I have two options. I can fly from the northern airport or from the southern airport. Often I'll check my flights on Google Flights, Skyscanner, whatever website you use. And then for €5 price difference, I'll go to the other airport. I'll start from the other airport, which is 1 hour more commute for me. So it takes me 1 hour more to go there. But on Skyscanner, €5 savings look great. So for €5 price difference, I'll go to the lot longer airport, who is a lot longer away. So this shows I'm very, very price sensitive in this method. At that level, for €10 price difference, I'll change my airline. For €20 price difference, I'll change my hotel chain. So it's very, very price sensitive. I'm very, very price sensitive when I build up my travel experience. Once I've completed booking my flight, my hotel, the phase of anticipation begins. I'm looking forward to travel. I'm looking forward to spend the days I worked for the entire year to spend these traveling, to do something leisure, to get out of the working mode. And in this phase, we are highly irrational. Yeah, I saved €5 to go to the airport, which is 1 hour longer to go there. I sit at the airport and I will easily buy a beer for $10 because, well, it's travel. It's my holiday. I'll invest that amount of money. And that's what you can keep in mind, because we as tour operators, as activity operators, as attractions operators, we are booked in this anticipation phase. So what's really important, and that's our big advantage, is that unlike hotels, unlike flights, tours and activities is actually not that price sensitive. So the booking, our customers are not as price sensitive as they are for their airline or for their hotel, because booking for tours and activities mainly happens in that phase of anticipation where we are really, really irrational or even emotional. So keeping that in mind, it's really important for you to understand, okay, it is actually a good phase when our customers are booking because they are not that much price sensitive. Price is not the main decision point. So having said that, what can we learn from the other two markets of flights and hotels and their booking experience, and how can we adapt that to the tours and activities market? And as I promised, we'll brought you 8 actionable tips here today. So 8 tips you can apply as of today. You open in your new tab, you open from whatever booking system you have, you open your pricing page, you can use that information right now. So as soon as this lockdown is over and you're able to sell products again, you can profit from this advice we gave you here today. So this is really, really actionable. In general, in order to profit from all these tips, what you should be doing is you should be selling online. So if you don't do it yet, sell online, use your own website to sell tours and activities, sell your products, because that's the basis for actually profiting from most of these tips. Know where you have higher control over the complete booking experience. Yes, it makes sense to also sell on resellers and OTAs, but nowhere you have as much control over the entire booking flow, over the entire booking process as on your own website. So you should be selling online on your own website, and you should be using a booking system such as bookingkit, whatever you want, but do sell online. That's the one thing, if you don't do that already, you should do by today. So again, today you can expect 8 actionable advices you can apply directly as of today. And we're going to start in directly with the number 1, upselling. First out of 8, how to optimize your profit with pricing strategy is upselling. What does upselling mean? So let me tell you a story. This is a customer of ours, Air Service Berlin. They offer helicopter rides across Berlin. If there's any helicopter ride company in this webinar, say hi in the chat. So you know, helicopter rides have all the challenges you have in tours and activities to an extreme. A helicopter is very, very expensive. The second the helicopter starts moving and the rotator starts rotating, that's very, very expensive. So it's key to optimize the pricing there, to optimize the revenue and by that the profit, to actually be able to survive. So key to optimize my revenue is to optimize the average basket. So the average amount, how much are people leaving at my activity, how much are people on average paying for my activity. And in a lot of cases you have like one standard price, okay, that's the standard price. But what you can do is you can offer, and should be doing, upsell opportunities. What would be an upsell opportunity? So think of this helicopter, you see the picture here, and always there will be someone sitting next to the pilot. People, like me for example, are willing to pay extra to sit next to the pilot. For you, it's great as operator because anyway, there will be sitting someone next to the pilot, but you can charge extra for that. So in their example, you can pay, the standard ticket is 99 euro. You can take the helicopter ride for 99 euro. But if you want to sit next to the pilot, you pay another 99 euro. So it costs double to sit next to the pilot. Again, you yourself as operator, you don't pay anything extra to have someone sitting next to the pilot because anyway, someone would be sitting there, but you can earn extra on that extra seat. Second thing they're doing, and very, very smart, is, okay, you can go the normal way to the helicopter, or you can order the limousine transfer service. So you can go there in a limousine and get transferred there to the helicopter. So this limousine transfer costs another 20 or 30 euro extra. Compared to a helicopter, the limousine costs nothing. So offering this product costs nearly nothing, and you have a high margin on this upsell product. So this actually enables you to increase the average amount a customer pays at your experience without shying away. So still, I can buy my ticket for 99 euro and use the experience, but if I have more budget, I'm more willing to spend on having a great experience. I can leave more money at your place, I can spend more money, and this is the power of upselling. Generally, we would recommend you to have 3 upsell items. So 3 items you should be upselling, not more, not less, because 3 is always the golden rule. So typically it should work like, okay, I select my experience, I enter my details, and then in the step where I select my payment methods, or before that, I have the upselling opportunity to actually buy different options, and that would be typically 3 different things. Now, a lot of operators tell me, Lucas, yes, I understand for the helicopter company, it's fairly easy, but I do X, Y, Z, and I can't do upselling. I promise you, we find for any product, we'll give you some inspiration what you could be upselling. You can try me directly in the chat if you wrote your product. We can give you inspiration what to upsell. It could be souvenirs, could be T-shirts you sell with your main product. There's tons of products which you can use to upsell, which you can use to increase your average basket, and by that increase your revenue, and most importantly also your profit from that. So if you take one thing from today, please do upsell, use a booking system which allows upselling. So for example, in bookingkit, it's really straightforward to include upselling products. That's something you can use as of today. You can do on your pricing sheet. You can include upselling products, and you should be doing so. If you have questions about that or any other point, feel free to ask directly in the chat. We have time for Q&A also afterwards. So please don't hesitate, if you have questions, to directly post them in the chat. So first out of 8 actionable advices I'll leave you going home today. How to improve your pricing experience, how to improve your revenue and profit margin is upselling. And you should be doing that. That's the one thing you should be taking home today. Second of all, 2nd out of 8, anchor pricing. So 2nd tip out of 8 is anchor pricing from the series How to Maximize Your Profit with Pricing Strategies. What is anchor pricing? Anchor pricing is setting a price anchor. When we reflect about pricings, we as a person, our brain is wired that way that there's the neocortex, that's the first stage of our brain, and that does very fast decisions. And then there's the second phase of the brain, or second segment of the brain, which does the more complicated decisions. On the first level, the brain tries to find an anchor, tries to find a comparison. And this comparison, you can influence that because you can build it on your own. We call that anchor pricings. So the first price we see on the page, it will become the price anchor. And anything else, I'll compare to that price anchor. So often what I'm seeing with operators is that they, on their product page, on their shop page, they want to start with the cheapest product and then go down with all the more expensive products. This is wrong, because you're setting a low price anchor and then people think, okay, this gets more expensive, more expensive, more expensive. It should be the other way around. You start with the most expensive product. So this is for one of our customers, we did it. They start with the premium quad tour, it's 89 euros, and then they list the regular quad tour. What happens there, I'll go to the page, I'll say, okay, normally the quad tour is 90 or 89 euros. And even first, if that's in my budget, I'll buy that. If it's not in my budget, I'll say, okay, I don't have that much budget, but I still can do the regular quad tour. It's actually damn cheap because it costs 40 euros less. So in my brain, it will be handled the same way like a discount is. So this is what we call price anchor. And I don't know if you, in your life, donated to a charity. If you did, you fall for a price anchor, because any charity in the world, and you can try it on your favorite charity right now, go to their website. If you're willing to do a donation, they will always suggest you high donations. So either they start with a list of donation possibilities. They'll start with the highest. You can try it on UNICEF or any favorite donation of your type. They'll start with a higher donation, or if there's a free field, they'll put a value in there which is relatively high, because then you have this feeling of anything you had in mind, oh, it's actually not much I'm donating, maybe I'm going to donate a bit more. This is the power of a price anchor. It's really easy. You don't have to change your pricing sheet. The only thing you need to do is to change the order of your products on your site and set this price anchor. So 2nd out of 8 actionable advices we're going to give you today, 8 actionable tips for pricing strategy we're going to give you today is anchor pricing. 3rd out of 8 is higher incidental prices. Goes in the same direction. 3rd out of 8, higher incidental prices. What does that mean? I just explained to you the anchor price concept. So some people, some operators tell me, okay, Lukas, I understand that anchor price concept, but I don't have that high price products. All my products are round about the same thing. You can use other products to build a price anchor. So think, for example, you have a tour, you have an activity, which is a normal city tour, and then you can set the price anchor by offering a helicopter tour. This price anchor should be round about 3 times the price of your own product. So you could be offering on your own website where you sell walking tours, you could be selling from another operator, you could be selling helicopter tours, just to have that price in mind. And then your customers, they will come to your page and say, okay, great, I could be doing helicopter tours, but that's maybe 500 euro product. Or I do the walking tours for just 120 euros. So the price anchor in my mind will make the walking tour see comparably cheap, and by that I'll increase the amount of people buying. So some people, some operator tell me, Lukas, I don't want to sell other products on my own website because then maybe I'm going to lose customers. And that is true. Maybe someone who has the budget for 500 euro, he'll do the helicopter ride. But actually your core target group, so the core people you want to have on your website, these people, they will fall more for your product. There will be a higher percentage of people buying your core product if you set this high anchor price. And you can set this high anchor price by having a higher incidental price as price anchor on your own website by, for example, including products from other operators. So most of the booking softwares allow that. So also bookingkit allows you to directly select other products from your local region to be sold on your website. And you can use that to have higher incidental price on your website. So tip 3, actionable tip, what you can do as of today, 3 out of 8 higher incidental prices in order to maximize your profit with pricing strategies. 3 out of 8. Going on, 4 out of 8. This is my favorite, charm pricing. So charm pricing, one of the most important thing. If you completely forgot anything else I told you, you should be listening right now. You should be doing charm pricing. This is the one thing I want to take home today. If you take only one thing home today, it's going to be charm pricing. So 4 out of 8, charm pricing. What is charm pricing? We all know it from the supermarket. It's 9.99 or 9.95 instead of 10 euros. So this 0.99 prices. This is what we call charm pricing. A lot of operators tell me, I don't want my product to look cheap. I don't want my product to look cheap. I don't want to be in that category of a supermarket product where I am like the guy giving 99 prices, 49 prices, 9.99. It just makes my product look cheap. But actually, and that's what I explained to you before for how our brains are wired, is the first assessment, if this is expensive or not, is done really, really quick in our brains. And our brains only check for the first numbers. So this, for our brain, reduces the price, relevantly reduces the price. And it's statistically proven. I brought you some numbers here. So this is actual results where we tested this. So this is obviously for smaller numbers, but goes for all sections. So compare product sold for 99 cents versus €1 or $1 had nearly double the people booking that. Nearly double the people booked that. It goes the same way when you look to 5.99 compared to 6, you had 14% of customers book more. So for that 1 cent discount, you had 14% of customers book more. The same product, the same marketing effort, the same visitors on your website, 14% increased conversion, 14% more people came here. So if previously from 100 people, 10 boards, now 24 people will buy. That's the difference you're gonna make. This is the difference you can make with charm pricing. And I know it feels counterintuitive. It feels somehow maybe I'm gonna give my product a cheap impression. That's absolutely not the case. Charm pricing matters. Charm pricing changes buyers' behavior. And this is something really, really simple. It's been used for decades in supermarkets. It's scientifically proven. So you can do it as of today. Right now, you can go open a new tab, open your pricing sheet, adapt your prices to charm prices. The general rule of thumb here is if you have 2-digit prices, so anything below 10, I would stick with the comma prices, so 9.99. If you're going on a 2-digit range, something like 50 euros, I would say 49 flat, so not go for the cents. And if you have 3-digit prices, also do flat prices, so not lose too much with the commas, but say instead of 500, it's 4.99. So this scientifically proven increases the amount of people buying your products. So this will be important, especially in the moment when things pick up again after the lockdown. So tip 4 out of 8 is charm pricing. If you forgot anything else before and anything else afterwards, the one thing you should be taking home today is charm pricing from our series on how to optimize your profit with pricing strategies. 4 out of 8, charm pricing. 5th out of 8 is product versus price, what to show first. As for all of the content I'm telling you, you can ask questions at any time in our chat. There's also tons of material on our website on bookingkit.net/blog. It's also, we have a French version, Italian version, bookingkit.fr, bookingkit.it. So we have all the content available also in your language on how to optimize your business. Today is how to optimize your profit with pricing strategies. So 5th out of 8 actionable tips I'm gonna send you home with today. Product versus price, what to show first. So a lot of operators ask me, okay, Lukas, should I show my product first, my price first? What should I show first? And so the general rule of thumb here is you show your product first if you're competing on quality. You show your price first if you're competing on economic value. What does that mean? Let me give you an example. If you're the 5th hop-on, hop-off bus provider in a city, then typically you're competing on economic value. So roundabout the routes are the same. You're saying, okay, all of them have similar routes, similar scenic sites. So then you're competing on economic value. Then maybe your offer is, I don't know, 49 euros, including the boat ride. So you're competing on economic value. 80 to 90% of experiences, of activities, of attractions compete on quality. People are not that price sensitive when they book their leisure time. They're not that price sensitive. Why is that? Because they want to have a great experience. They care about the best experience. They don't care about saving the $5 I saved when I did my flight, my hotel. In this moment, I'm very, very high price sensitive on the first selection of booking my travel. But when I'm in destination, when I'm booking my leisure time, then I'm not very price sensitive. So for having a better quality, I'll happily spend 10 euros more, 20 euros more. So that's important to understand. So most of you are going to compete on quality, which means show the quality first. Show first the product and what it offers and how it differentiates from all the other stuff I could be doing in my leisure time. And then show how much it is. Then show what the price is you ask for. If you're competing on economic value, then obviously you should be going for the price first. So this is something you should be taking into account when you ask yourself about should you show product or price first. Or 5th out of 8 actionable advices is it depends on your strategy. Are you competing on value, economic value, then show the price first, or are you competing on quality as most of the offerings and tours and activities do? Then please do show the product first. 5 out of 8. Moving on to 6th out of 8 actionable advice you can apply as of today. Again, all of that, you can open a new tab. You can now go into your pricing sheet, adapt this live to actually participate and have a better profit and revenue margin when we go back to normal again, following the coronavirus example. So this is something you can take home as today. And the 6th out of 8 actionable advices is from high to low, how to maximize your profit with pricing strategies. What does from high to low mean? From high to low means you should be going from the highest price, that's what we learned with anchor price, but also from the highest quality first. So the highest quality product you have should be the first on your website and then going down. So lowering the quality, lowering the price. Let's take the example of a city tour, of a guided city tour. So typically what we are seeing is that you have a single page for private tours and a single page for group tours. What we would advise you to do is to always show the single, the exclusive, the special tours first. Typically, that's the highest quality because it's me personally having the tour without anyone else. It's a bit more exclusive and typically it will be a bit more expensive. And then follows the group tour, so the standard tours you do. And by that, I'll achieve 2 things. First of all, maybe I sell individual tours to people who would not have thought of doing an individual tour before, because they're just saying, okay, that still fits in my budget, it's a better quality product, let's do it. Or second of all, you have the group tours, and they now look a lot cheaper, because compared obviously to your individual tour, they are a lot cheaper. So that's very, very easy to adapt also that frame, how our mind thinks, how our mind perceives the price you put on your website. So that's very important. We would advise you to start with the highest quality, typically also highest price product first, and then go down on quality and price. And you can see that. That's an example, I think, from Get Your Guide here, directly put in here. All the resellers follow the very same narrative. So they start with highest quality, highest price, and then go down, because obviously online resellers such as Get Your Guide also are using these pricing strategies in order to achieve higher average sales. As always, to all of these tips, you can ask questions live today in the Q&A format. Just put your questions into the chat, as Veronique just did with the examples. How did other operators cope with the situation of COVID-19? So you can find that on our website, bookingkit.net, or in your language on bookingkit.fr or bookingkit.it. You can find that information, Italian, French, German, and English information, all that. And we'll also post the link to all the resources directly in the chat here, so you get all that information. Actionable tip here today, 6 out of 8 from high to low. So if you want to move your products or sort your products on your website, start with the highest quality, go to a lower quality, 6 out of 8. 7 out of 8, offer a decoy. 7th actionable tip you can take home as of today to optimize your pricing strategy, to optimize your profit, is offer a decoy. So very concretely, often we see combi activities. What's a combi activity? Is you can buy activity 1, or you can buy activity 1 and 2 combined. So think of a boat ride. I can do the boat ride, or I can also have dinner on the boat. So it's a combination, boat ride and dinner. And typically what we'll see is, okay, you sell the boat ride, on extra you sell the dinner and boat combination. So that's something very typically you see. So let's take an example. The activity 1, the boat ride, costs 69 euro. The combo ticket, boat ride plus dinner, costs 149 euro. And the dinner itself is not bookable. What we would advise you to do is make the dinner product, the second activity, also bookable, even if it does not make sense. Yeah, in that case, you can book the activity 2, the dinner product, also on its own for 129 euro, but you can have activity 1 and 2 together for 149 euros. So it doesn't make sense to book activity 2. But by putting it like that and by making it actionable bookable, people start believe you that this is a great bargain, because there's a lot of marketing blah blah out there. A lot of people tell you, okay, this is a great deal for you, this is a great deal, and it's so much money off, that's such a great discount, please do it. And we stopped believing them. We say, yes, that's what they are telling me because they want to sell their product. You can make yourself believable by offering the boat ride itself, the dinner itself, and the combination. What actually happens here is, and we brought actual numbers, that no one buys what we call decoy product, the activity 2, no one buys it. But just by having the opportunity to be able to book that, nearly double the amount of people are booking the combo product, because they now see, okay, actually what they are telling me is true. I could be booking the dinner on my own. I could be booking the boat ride on my own. But the combination is a great bargain, and because I can actually book that on my website, that's a great opportunity to do it. And that's what nearly doubled the amount of sales in this combo ticket situation. So this is real numbers we put here. So this gives you a real overview how you can influence buyer's behavior on a combo product. So actionable advice 7 from 8. If you are offering combo tickets, do also offer all the single products on its own as a, what we call a decoy product. Keep that in mind because it heavily increases your sales. So this is an average, again, nearly 40%, more than 40% increase of the revenue just by displaying this decoy product. So 7 out of 8, if you have combo products, also offer the decoy product in our series on how to maximize your profit with pricing strategies. 8 out of 8. Lukas, you talked for 40 minutes about pricing strategies, but you did not talk about discounts. I guess all of you somehow discounted. Why didn't you mention discounts? So 8 out of the 8 tips, actionable tips you can do today is about discounts. If you do discounts, discounts with care. Discounts work great, but they can also influence your product sales very, very negatively. I'm gonna explain you why. So typically you would say when you're competing on quality, do not discount. When you're competing on price, then you can discount. To make it more concrete, if you're the hop on off provider, there's 5 different providers in your town and you want to steer the sales a bit, then you can say, okay, today is the day where you get €5 off. That helps sales, that discounts your products. So, but if you're competing on quality in the sense of I have the best tour through Berlin, I have the best tour through Paris, then you should not be discounting. Because you're competing on quality, you're not competing on price. So what you always can be doing is offer early bird pricing. So if someone books very, very early, as of now, for example, and someone books in the phase of lockdown for the future, do offer them discounts. That's fairly understandable. 10% discount, 20% discount for earlier payment, for earlier online payment. That's completely normal. That you can do on all cases. But if you're competing on quality, like most of the tour and activity operators are, you should not be discounting. Why is that? Because you wanna, sorry, that was one too early. You wanna steer the focus on the quality. If you're competing on quality, you want to steer the focus on the quality. So how do I achieve that? If I discount my price, then all the focus is on the price. Normally it's €100, now it's €80. So okay, I can compare the price and I'm down to economic value again. When you're booking leisure products, you're not price sensitive. Our customers are looking for a good experience. They are not looking to save the last €5 of the price, but they're looking for a great experience. So if you're competing on quality, you should be discounting also on quality. How does that work? Classic example is a product discount. So you say, okay, if you book today or within this week or within this time, you get an extra t-shirt from us again, on top. You get a free drink on top. So you also do a discount because for the same price you offer more, but that moves your focus to the quality of the product and not so much to the price of your product. So that's what you should be keeping in mind. If you're competing on quality, then also discount on the quality by doing, as we call it, product discounts, by offering more value for the same price. Don't discount the price itself because that moves the focus towards the discount. If you do discounts, keep in mind the rule of 100. So what is the rule of 100? When you have a list price below €100 or dollar, then you should show a percentage discount. So example is €50 ticket, 10% off, sounds a lot more for your customer or feels more than €5 off. If you have a product more than €100 list price, then always show the absolute discount. So example is, I have the €500 helicopter white, 10% discount sounds not very much. If you say €50 discount, that feels like a lot of money I'm saving there. So the perception of the discount is very, very much higher. So rule of 100 in discounting is you can apply that today if you have discounts on your website already. Check if you apply the rule of 100. If the price is below 100, use percentage discounts. If it's over 100, use price discounts there. So 8 out of 8 is about discounts, actionable advices you can be using today. So all of these tips we gave you here today is about 8 actionable advices you can be using as of today. We started with upselling, showed you different options on how to upsell. We showed you information about anchor pricing, so start with a price anchor, a high price anchor, as do, for example, a lot of donations work the same way. When you don't have a price anchor on your own, show higher incidental prices, could even be other products from your region. Use charm pricing. If you take one thing home from today, it's about charm pricings. And if you're talking on how to sort and how to display product and price information on your website, keep in mind product versus price. If you're competing on quality, show the product first. If you're competing on economic value, show the price first. 6 out of 8, again, start from highest quality on your site to lowest quality. 7 out of 8, if you're offering decoy products, then keep in mind that you also make, combi products, and keep in mind to also offer the decoy product because it increases the amount of people who buy your combi product. And if you discount 8 out of 8, discount with care and keep the rule of 100 in mind, that below 100 euro you discount in percentage and over this 100 euro you discount in absolute numbers. You can also find tons of information on our website about that, inspiration, how other operators are doing that in general on pricing, but also in the COVID-19 situation we are currently having. So feel sure to check out our website. Christian just posted the 2 links to the COVID-19 resources on our website. So please make sure to check out the information. There's also going to be seminars about the topics and about the current situation in Italian and also in French language. So we'll be announcing them shortly. Stay tuned. You can also sign up to our newsletter. And up until then, all what's left for me is to wish you a perfect Easter weekend, although it's probably going to be one of the strangest Easter weekends me personally and many of us had in their lives. But still, stay healthy, stay safe, and I wish you all the best and a great Easter weekend here today from Berlin, from bookingkit. Thanks for being with us today. Merci beaucoup. Au revoir.